Kira from KiraWilliamsFitness.com, and today we are going to be talking about the signs that your metabolism is slow, and that is the reason that you cannot lose the weight. And we are going to talk about all of the different reasons that this could be happening and what you can do about it. So let's dive in. What is the metabolism? The metabolism is basically, it's just an energy management system for your body. You put calories in and you expend energy. So energy in versus energy out. That's simply all it is. Your metabolism is very flexible. It's very smart. It does whatever it has to do to keep you alive. That is ultimately its goal. So if you do not eat enough food, then your body is going to shut things down. It's going to slow things down. So, and we'll get into the signs and symptoms a little bit deeper, but if you aren't eating an adequate amount of food, then you're going to feel really tired. You might not grow your hair as fast. Your body might not heal from injury as quickly. Your immune system could become compromised. All the different systems and organs of your body rely on your metabolism to be in a good state. So I know you think, well, if I just don't eat as much, then I'm just going to lose fat. But unfortunately, everything slows down. Your heart, your brain, your kidneys, your liver, your adrenal glands, your integumentary system, so that's your hair, skin, and nails, your muscular system, all the systems of the body, your urinary system, your digestive system, everything slows down. And so we think, well, I just want to eat less, but that is really unsafe to the body. And yes, of course, if you want to drop body fat, then we do have to manipulate things, but we have to be really smart about it. Because when we're chronically in this deficit or in a big deficit for too long, then those systems of your body are going to shut down and you're not going to feel good. And then eventually you're going to get to a point where you become sick and you definitely are not going to be able to drop the body fat. So we have to manipulate it in a way that your body continues to feel safe, but you are still able to lose fat. And we also don't want to constantly be in a catabolic state. So that's in a loss state. Sometimes we do want to go into an anabolic state because that's also going to help your body thrive. It's going to help you have more energy. It's going to help all of the systems and symptoms that I just discussed. And it's also going to help you build muscle. So when I think about, all of the women who over the years have just tried to eat less and eat less, it's sad because you are doing your body such a disservice by doing that. So we're going to also talk about things that you can do to help your body thrive, so that way you can achieve your goals and you also feel really good and you are a healthy human. So I think we have an idea of what the energy management system of our body, that is the metabolism, is. It's energy in, energy out. But also recall that the metabolism is it's very flexible. And so if you feed it too little, then it will adjust and it knows how to operate on too little. And that's when all of those things start to decline. And then as you feed it more, it starts to understand how to acclimate to you giving it more. And so it's very flexible until it's not. So when it's working well, you're happy, you've got plenty of energy, you rarely get sick, you sleep great, you build muscle, you look wonderful, you're thriving. But when it's not, that's when we run into a whole bunch of signs and symptoms. And I want to go over those today and kind of lump them together in body systems. So the ones we're going to be focusing on are going to be the digestive system and our hormones. And we're also going to talk a bit about just energy and mood, as well as just the physical symptoms, because most of you guys follow me for body recomposition. So that's another big focus that we're going to take today. All right, so let's go ahead and start with with our energy and mood. Because this is probably going to be one of the first things that you notice when your metabolism is not functioning at a high level. You are going to struggle with energy. So wake up in the morning, it's like feel really groggy. You 100% rely on caffeine in the mornings, as well as possibly even throughout the day. You might even rely a bit on sugar because your blood sugar is all over the place. And so you rely on sugar to keep you energized, and fast digesting carbs. You're craving those things because that's what your body is reliant on to give you energy, instead of just having this like energy that you inherently have. It's that you want those quick hits. You aren't in a great mood. Maybe you don't feel good. Like if I'm really tired, I can be really cranky, and it's not just a random day. If this is like becomes your norm, you just constantly feel like you're dragging. But then when it's time to go to bed, you're wired and you're not tired. Maybe you even wake up in the middle of the night quite a bit. These are all kind of signs and symptoms of metabolic dysfunction. Now let's get into some of the digestive signs. Because when your metabolism slows down, everything slows down, and that includes your digestive system. You are constipated often, or maybe it's like a little bit of variability where you go 3 days, 4 days without going to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden it hits all at once. You are often bloated. That's kind of like your norm. You just always kind of feel heavy and like lethargic, like everything's just like sitting there like a brick. It's just not going anywhere. You might struggle with indigestion, with heartburn. These are all signs of your digestive system being slower. Maybe you don't even really get hungry because everything is just moving through you slower. So you don't really feel quite as hungry as often. Ooh, another really big one is you stop craving protein. Because if your body is not making an adequate amount of stomach acid and enzymes, because everything has slowed down, then you can actually lose your taste for protein and you don't crave meat. And I think that's kind of like it for the digestive system. Everything just slows. Let's get into hormones a bit. This is like kind of all over the map because hormones aren't just, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not just our, sex hormones, procreation hormones. It's not just those. It's all the different hormones of the body. But yes, like struggling with worsened PMS symptoms or symptoms around ovulation or simply just like period symptoms can definitely be an issue. Your body might not be making enough testosterone, and that goes for men and women. Which means you're definitely gonna like have a worsened mood, not have as much energy, not feel like vibrant in the gym, struggling with low libido. And then kind of getting into some of the thyroid stuff which like your thyroid is the master hormone of your metabolism. So if you get to a point where you have done such a number on your metabolism that your thyroid is taking a hit, then this is an issue. We are talking about like thinning hair or lack of hair growth or hair falling out. You're losing the sides of your eyebrows, brittle nails, really dry skin, or having like different, like if you cut yourself shaving and it's not healing quickly, cold hands, cold feet, just like constantly, or like having temperature regulation problems. Being constantly thirsty, doesn't matter how much water you drink, but just that constant thirst of like, it's never enough. And that wired but tired, that again is going back to cortisol and the adrenal glands. Relying on those too much chronically, because you're not feeding yourself enough food, is going to cause bigger problems as well. And then moving out of kind of the hormonal issues. And these are just some of the signs and symptoms that you may have. Like there's way more. I'm just kind of giving you guys a brief little overview. Certainly not a comprehensive list. Feeling drained all the time. Especially like if you drag yourself into the gym and you get yourself a workout in and then you just like feel like you could crash. I remember at one point in my life, I would show up, I was not eating nearly enough, and I would show up to the gym and I would like sit down to like write out my workout, and I would just like lay down and be like, I can't move. Like I don't even want to work out. And working out is like my favorite. So that's really sad. Constantly feeling sore or like you're not recovering from your workouts the way that you used to. That's not just a sign of like getting older. It could be a sign of slowed metabolism. Even though you lift weights, you're not building muscle. If you're constantly in a catabolic state, then you can't be in an anabolic state, which is that building state. You're also not losing fat. It's what we're here for. Cutting calories doesn't matter. Still not dropping weight or fat. Or just kind of like feeling like you just don't have like that muscle tone that you used to. Or like the feeling flat in your muscles. Again, not healing, that's kind of aligned with not recovering from your workouts. Your just body isn't healing properly. Or like if you have an injury, you're not healing from it at all. And then you're just not like, you're not motivated to like go work out, and you don't have that drive that you used to. Like you used to be on a treadmill and like run a few sprints or like do a little jog before you work out. You're just not able to like do that anymore. You're not able to hit numbers that you used to anymore. All signs of a slowed metabolism. And another big one that I definitely want to talk about, and this, I've seen this before, and I don't want to scare you, but this is when you know that things are not great. When you just don't have hunger anymore. This can be like, I'm a little hesitant to talk about this one just because there can be a few reasons for that. But if you train your body to not feel hunger anymore, then your body goes, okay, I'm not going to feel hungry anymore. And that is partially a physical thing. But it's also partially an emotional thing. And that's when we kind of get into disordered eating habits, signs and symptoms, not within my scope of practice by any stretch of the imagination, but I have seen it. I have done it myself where I just trained myself to not be hungry. And that is typically, like I said, it can be a sign of a slowed metabolism, and that's it. You have a great relationship with food, but slowed metabolism is what's at play here, but in some cases it is a psychological situation. And so that's one to not be taken lightly. None of these are to be taken lightly, but that one is a little bit more going in the direction of that like emotional, psychological piece. But that one is something that I have to hit on because it is one of the big signs. So now that we've talked about like all of the different signs and like if you identify with any of these, then please reach out to me. This is what I do. I literally help women restore their metabolic state so they can go from trying to do everything that they can to lose fat to being able to lose fat again and be able to get into the body they want. So let's talk about how we can fix it. So, and I'm also, after I get through this, I'm going to give you guys 3 things that you can do like literally right now that are going to help you get back into a state where your body is capable of losing fat again. So I've been working on this for a while, but it's getting to the root cause of your health issues, getting to the root cause of what is going on in your body so that way you can reach your goals. And as a nutritional therapy practitioner, these are the steps that I take with my clients to get them from where they are now to where they want to be. And that first one is restore. We want to restore your health and your nourishment. We want to restore things from the root. Because if we are just throwing things at all of the different symptoms that you have going on, then you're not going to be fixing things in a way that they take hold and last long term. So we are going to work on regulating your sleep. Your sleep is the foundation of everything. So within the first couple hours that we get to sleep, as long as we have good sleep, getting that deep sleep, you are restoring literally the cells of your body. Our body then is capable of creating growth hormone, and that restores all of the cells. That means your bones, that means your kidneys, that means your skin, that means your muscles, that means all of your different like glands, like your thyroid. All of those things, all of the cells in your body get restored during sleep. So sleep is the absolute foundation to everything. You're going to have more energy. Your blood sugar is going to be more balanced. You're going to be able to go crush it in the gym. You're going to be in a good mood. Your digestive system is going to be in a better place. Sleep. We want to restore sleep. We want to regulate your stress. Now, I understand that you are not in control of all of the different stressors of your life, but we want to do whatever we can do to mitigate the stress. That could mean bringing in more parasympathetic activities into your life, like yoga, just going out for a walk, deep breathing exercises, tapping, etc. But then also setting boundaries where you can and taking the time for yourself so that way you can get into a state where you feel like you can handle life. We want to show your body that it is safe. So we're going to be tapping into the central nervous system and showing your body that it is safe, because a body that does not feel safe is not a body that is going to drop fat, period. I've seen this literally thousands of times where my clients go from feeling like they are not safe. Their body is like, I'm going to store every ounce of fat I can possibly store because I'm afraid that you're trying to kill me, to feeling safe enough to where they can drop body fat again. This is a very, very real thing. So this is a big thing that we want to work on. We want the body to feel safe. We want the nervous system to feel safe. So we tap into those stress mitigating activities, setting boundaries, making your body feel like, okay, I can breathe. I'm okay. And another big piece of that is eating more. So your body says, okay, I'm getting fuel, I'm getting nourishment, I'm getting love, I'm getting what I need. I am safe, I can lose, I can drop fat. Now we're going to go into the optimization period. This is where we balance our blood sugar, which is key as well to tapping into the nervous system, because when we're going through these peaks and valleys, you know, if your blood sugar drops, then your cortisol swoops in, and your adrenaline swoops in, and that's potentially bringing you into a sympathetic state, not a parasympathetic state. So you're not feeling like that. It's not rest and digest. You are now in fight or flight. Or if you eat a ton of sugar and your blood sugar spikes, then again, that might create some anxiety and getting you into a more sympathetic or fight or flight state rather than rest and digest. We are going to optimize by ensuring that your mineral status is adequate, making sure that you are getting an adequate amount of magnesium, calcium, sodium, and potassium through diet and or possibly supplements, but we usually try and go the diet route first. That's going to help your body at a cellular level feel that it is safe. And also, like I said, we're in that state of optimization. We want, hey, look at this, I've got salt right here, like literally on my desk next to my water. We want to make sure that we are getting an adequate amount of these things, so that way our body functions at an optimal system. This is going to help your liver. This is going to help your kidneys. It's going to help your hydration status, so you have more energy. It's going to help your digestive system because it's going to allow things to flow. It's going to help your lymphatic system, which keeps all of the different fluids moving throughout your body. So optimizing that. Then we are going to be supporting your digestive system again through diet, of course, but then also potentially through doing some supplements, and again, getting more into that parasympathetic state, because if you are bound up, sometimes that's because you're in a state of fight or flight. You're like frozen. So your digestive system is frozen, and we're not able to release the things that we need to release. And then that is ultimately also going to help optimize your detoxification pathway, so we can get the things out of your body that your body's like, I don't want this, I don't need this, so that all of the other systems can function properly. Next up, overcome. We want to, this is where we get into that like psychological piece. It's all good. We can all stand to use a little bit of this. We want to look at your current patterns. Are you in a pattern of perfectionism? And so you just don't do things because it has to be perfect. That is just self-sabotage. There's other ways that we might self-sabotage, and we're going to be looking at those things. Why do you do those things? Because again, we're trying to get to the root cause, right? We're trying to get at the root of the issue. And so we have to take a look at our mental state, and just our patterns of the things that we do, so that way we don't go back into our old ways. Because if you're continuously going back to your old ways, then you're not going to ever get where you need to be. So we want to look at self-doubt. We want to look at self-sabotage. We want to look at perfectionism. We want to look at the way you approach things. Like some people want to do like a total 180, and that usually turns into a 360. So we're going to kind of slow things down, take things step by step, so that way you can overcome all of your own obstacles that you've created in your mind, so that way you can thrive, which is that fourth piece. We now have far more bandwidth. We can take on more things. We can get into the gym and actually push in our workouts again. We no longer are just managing the symptoms of the things that we're going through. You know, you aren't struggling with like constantly being sore anymore, so you can get into the gym and you can do a tough leg workout. You are no longer struggling with, you know, not being able to wake up in the mornings and relying so heavily on coffee and being in a cranky mood that you don't want to go to the gym at 5 a.m. You can get up, you can set your alarm and you can get up and you can go. You have enough bandwidth to where, or energy, so that way on the weekends when you normally would just be like laying on the couch, like deep into a book or a movie, but now you're getting up and you're like, okay, I'm going to create my weekly menu. I'm going to create my grocery list and I'm going to go out to the grocery store and I'm going to meal prep and I'm going to make these wonderful foods that are going to help me continue. It's a snowball effect. So now we're thriving. So those are the big steps. We're restoring, optimizing, overcoming, and then thriving. It's the root system. So clever. Now, well, hello, Franklin. Now I've got 3 takeaways for you that I want you to be able to do just right now. They're super simple, and these are 3 little things that will take you like very little time, very little effort, and will help you just take 1 or 2 little baby steps to get you feeling a little bit better. So the first thing is eat within an hour of waking up. This is going to get your digestive system going. You need to eat to build your metabolism up, to crank things up a notch. So we are going to eat within an hour of waking up. What are we going to eat? Well, ultimately, I would love you to get a little bit of every macronutrient, but let's focus first, protein. I'm not going to give you specific amounts because each person is very, very different. If a person has only been eating 1,000 calories a day, then all of a sudden eating 400 calories first thing in the morning is not going to make you feel great. So I want you to just think about like one little thing in the category of protein that you can eat. Maybe it's like a little cup of Greek yogurt. Maybe it's a couple hard-boiled eggs. Maybe it's a whole protein shake with some almond milk. Eat something from that protein category. If we can add in a little fat, that would be amazing. So that would be included if you're eating hard-boiled eggs. Perhaps for your fat, you want to do like a couple, if you're doing like Greek yogurt, maybe you do full fat Greek yogurt. Maybe you don't, and you throw in a handful of crushed up almonds. If you do scrambled egg whites, throw some avocado on there. So just think about something from that fat category. Next, we want to have a little bit of carbs, and we want to make sure that those carbs have fiber, because again, that's going to keep things moving for the digestive system. So if you're doing like scrambled eggs, scrambled egg whites, throw some vegetables in there, maybe some leafy greens like spinach, or if you're doing a smoothie, throw some spinach or some kale in there. If you're doing Greek yogurt, then throw some berries in there. Those berries are great for fiber intake. And if you want a little bit of extra carbs, then, you know, do a small piece of sourdough toast. You could do, like if you're doing fruit, then that's probably going to be a good carb source with your Greek yogurt or in a smoothie. Or if you're doing like a little snack pack and it's like a couple hard-boiled eggs and you're doing some nuts, then, you know, maybe another piece of fruit with that. And so that's going to be a good source of fiber as well as carbohydrates. So eat within an hour of waking up. Try and get something from each of those categories. And the next one is adding some minerals into your life. So literally sea salt. We don't want to do the like, we want to do real salt. So we want to know the source. We want to make sure that it's not like the sodium chloride that's man-made. We want it to just be like Himalayan sea salt or French salt or Icelandic salt. Things that the salt that Redmond sea salt, that's another really great one. If it's coming from the earth, the cool thing is that every different place in the earth has different kind of soil and different kind of minerals. So you're also getting like other little micro minerals from your salt. So salt, and then also making sure that you're eating foods that have potassium. So sources like sweet potato, bananas, there's some other ones. Those are like two of the big ones I know off the top of my head. So making sure that you're eating some of those. Coconut water, that's another really great one. So sodium, potassium, just get those minerals in your life. And then foods that contain magnesium and calcium. Magnesium is one where like I have a lot of clients on magnesium supplements. There's a lot of different forms of magnesium. So look that up. There's different ones that will serve you for different purposes, but getting that supplemental magnesium, especially if you're in a stressed out state. If you're stressed, your body is blowing through minerals. So supplementing with magnesium can be great. Calcium, eat foods that contain calcium, leafy greens, dairy products if you're tolerant. And if you're not tolerant, then we need to get your digestion back on track so that way you are tolerant and then you can have that dairy again. Unless you're, of course, lactose intolerant, whole other issue. Go with leafy greens, talk to your doctor. You might need a calcium supplement at that point. And then the third one is restore, allow your body, and not like sleep, like prioritize your sleep. Prioritize your solid 8 hours of sleep. Set the boundaries and prioritize your sleep. If you struggle with sleep, then work on your sleep hygiene, get into a good groove with your bedtime routine. And I've got podcasts, I've got tons of other links on my website that talk about sleep, and that magnesium is going to help you with your sleep too. So especially if you use magnesium glycinate, that's going to help big time with your sleep. So get some sleep, and I don't mean just lay on the couch and be lazy, but do things that help your body get back into that parasympathetic state of rest and digest. Tapping, meditation, deep breathing, go for walks outside. Tell everybody to buzz off and take time for yourself so that way you can get into that calm state. Okay, so look for more details coming soon about an awesome project that I have coming up. And if you this resonates with you, reach out to me, Kira at KiraWilliamsFitness.com, or just go to KiraWilliamsFitness.com and there's a contact form on my website, and I'd love to talk to you. Hope this helps.